very, very happy Vincent Kompany. Who wouldn't be happy with Harry Kane in their team? He has just reached 100 goals with Bayern Munich. That is 100 goals in the colours of Bayern Munich. I'll tell you what that means in just a moment as we take a look at where they are in the table. Perfect so far with a goal difference of plus 19 after just 5 rounds. 10 goals from Harry Kane this season in those 5 games, 100 in a Bayern shirt. He's done it in 104 games, beating out the record previously set this century by Erling Haaland and Cristiano Ronaldo, who did it in 105. He is quite sensational, Ali.
Yes, he is. And maybe because Harry Kane comes across sort of an old school guy, that he's not concerned about the people around him and the social media and the presence and the brand of Harry Kane, and he's not sort of pushing himself forward in front of cameras, that we kind of go, oh yeah, Harry Kane scored 100 goals, and yeah, that's fine. Well, we'll just kind of live with that. We've become accustomed to the fact that Harry Kane is automatic, that he's going to score goals, and we don't think of Harry Kane as anything other than, you know what, it's just a solid guy, solid professional. He's going to score goals. You don't have to worry about him. If you're Vincent Kompany, if you're Bayern Munich, if you're any manager that has had Harry Kane, you don't have to concern yourself. Is he going to be on time? Is he going to be late? Is he going to bring some sort of controversy to your club? No. He just shows up and does his job and does so at an extremely high level and with consistency. And what he's done here with Bayern Munich, he's been doing over the course of his career. And as I've been saying over the last couple of weeks, I actually think that Harry Kane as a player has improved, has gotten better, as a total player has gotten better without sacrificing the productivity. The goals are still there, but the totality of his game has been outstanding, particularly this season with Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich has been outstanding themselves. There's just isn't a whole lot to say about Harry Kane and Bayern Munich that we haven't already said, but Harry Kane continues to be the standard for this team.
Yes, Jan Agerfjordhoff and Thomas Hitzelsberger were pitchside at the Allianz Arena for us today. They had a front row seat to it. It's hard right now, Jan, to not be just talking about Harry Kane and all his achievements at Bayern.
Well, it's just unbelievable just to following. Sometimes I forget that I work here and I just following as an old striker, because his movement, his attitude, he's everywhere on the pitch, Thomas.
Well, he is indeed, and I think it hasn't taken him long to become a Bayern Munich legend. The way he's performing, the way he presents himself as a role model to everybody here at the club, it's absolutely incredible. And I'm amazed he keeps on scoring. And as I said, you know, being a legend at this club means a lot. He's broken the record now, scoring 100 goals for Bayern in 104 games. Absolutely phenomenal. And I think he enjoys it himself.
But it's not only phenomenal, but if you compare them with the great goal scorers, Gerd Müller, Robert Lewandowski here, Giovanni Elber, there have been so many of them. But Harry Kane is different. Yes, he got the numbers of scoring goals, but it takes so much responsibility out there.
I mean, I wouldn't say he's lucky, but in a sense, he gets so many opportunities with penalties. He takes them all. He's
18 in a row. 18
in a row. It's you know, this is so great to see. But then, as I said, for the team, the impact he has on the players around him, because the players you just mentioned, Lewandowski in particular, he's like a goal-scoring machine. But it was very much about him. With Harry Kane, you always have the impression it's about the team. And the players always look for him as well. So it's probably the best teammate you can have.
And speaking from a very old striker, I mean, the movement around him, if that all is there, you can say a lot about Luis Diaz. Maybe he's not the world-class player, but the movement he has around Harry Kane makes it also easier to be a goal-getter.
Well, it does, and Serge Gnabry as well. This season, he's come to life. You know, that interchange with Harry Kane. And Harry Kane likes dropping deep now, as we said several times. This new role makes it harder for others to pick him up. If he just stood in the box, it would be easier to pick him up. This new role suits him perfectly.
But the standard of this club is Champions League. I mean, it's an easy game, this. They're going to Paphos, they're going to Cyprus. But the standard of this is how far they can come. Where do you see Bayern right now with Diaz, with Olise, with Kane, with Gnabry and the rest of the boys?
It seems so strange, because tonight again has been somewhat predictable. I'm not surprised by the scoreline, What happens is this team is almost waiting for March, April to come, because now they've proven they're way ahead of the other Bundesliga teams. So they need to test themselves, the best teams in Europe. So they need to be at this level come March, April in the Champions League. If they're at this level, they are serious contenders to win it.
And sometimes, Kay, these players say they don't care about records, but they do when they beat Cristiano Ronaldo and Erling Haaland.
Yeah, I wonder how much you care about that as well, Jan, as a Norwegian.
He's blank.
Lost for words.
He doesn't care that much.
He's lost for words. He's dumbstruck.
No,
Thank you so much for being with us tonight, guys.
You had your chance, Jan.
You
Too
had
late.
your chance, Jan. Hasta luego. Goodbye. Auf Wiedersehen. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for all your work. Yes, Bundesliga continues across the weekend.
You went full on La Liga there. Hasta luego.
Well, I had to get the Cristiano Ronaldo part in it as well, didn't I? I got it all in there. Don't worry. It's an all-inclusive show tonight. Here is the tale of the tape ahead of the first Madrid Derby of the season. Real Madrid are perfect so far. Atleti, however, only notched their second win of the campaign last time out against Rayo. But Julian Alvarez did score a hat-trick in that clash. Here he is, speaking ahead of this game.
No hemos hecho malos partidos, sino que no somos efectivos en los momentos que tenemos que ser para poner el 2-0. La mayoría de los partidos empezamos ganando y después por una cosa o la otra nos empatan, nos dan vuelta el partido. Pero nada, algo que tenemos que mejorar.
El último derbi terminó con un muy mal sabor de boca, con el famoso penal que me imagino te habrá dado vueltas en la cabeza mucho tiempo. ¿De qué serviría el partido de mañana de cara a lo que pasó?
No, bueno, sí, que a todos nos molestó, nos dolió, como decía, una injusticia. Duele perder de esa forma, pero ya pasó y nosotros no nos queda otra que enfocarnos en el partido de mañana. No lo vemos ni como una revancha ni como nada, simplemente el partido de mañana, ganar y seguir pensando en lo que viene.
Let's welcome in now two former Atleti players from the Spanish capital, Luis Garcia and Mario Suarez. Mario, let me start with what we saw from Julian Alvarez in that last game, a hat-trick, a response to being subbed off in the previous game and missing a penalty. A perfect response from Julian Alvarez?
Hello, Kay, Ale. I love your hat from before. I like it.
You want me to put it back on? I'll put it back on.
Oh.
No, that one will be great for Mallorca. The next time in Mallorca, you will have to wear it.
Está bien.
And talking about the match from tomorrow and about Julian Alvarez, it was the perfect match to do it, to get back to the goal, to do a hat trick.
That response, do you think that's given them more of a boost now going into the derby?
Yeah, of course. Every single win is a boost, and much more when you get closer to the derby. You know that in the last few years, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid have been quite even. It's a special game. It doesn't matter how you arrive. It doesn't matter what have been the results before, because it's always a special one. They've been so many cases where we've seen situations with the crowd, with the players, where things are happening and the result can go either way. Tomorrow for Atletico de Madrid is crucial to try to get closer to the top two. At the moment, I think that Real Madrid just got a very big gap. But this win in last couple of days, I think it was so important for Atletico de Madrid to get back the confidence. Some of the players that were involved, Llorente, Barrios, players who have been important for this Atletico de Madrid show up. And in the second half, when the new ones like Nico, players who have been arriving, Ruggeri, Hanko at the back, I think it is very important for them to feel that arriving to the derby, you have the opportunity to get a win and to arrive with more confidence.
Well, let's take a look at the predictions from all of our panel ahead of this game and see who's going for who. It's often been a draw, a 1-1 draw when these two sides meet at the Metropolitano, but most people are not sitting on the fence, not Luis Garcia. He is going for that 1-1 draw, which we've been seeing regularly. However, Mario Suarez has gone against everyone and is saying that Atleti are going to win this game 2-1. Ali Moreno says Real Madrid are going to win this 2-1. So, Ali, why have you got 2-1?
Well, Mario I'm surprised that Mario feels this way, but Mario just told us that the key for Atletico Madrid would be to not give away goals, to not get scored on, to keep it at 0. Well, they haven't proven that they can do that this season. They're having difficulties doing that this season. So much so that against Rayo Vallecano, not only did they give up 2 goals, I can also tell you, in case you didn't watch that match, Isi Palazón had a clear goal and scoring opportunity on his left foot, 6 yards out, and Jan Oblak has to come up with a big save. Otherwise, that may have been a different result. Atletico Madrid, yes, I agree they have to keep it at 0. I just don't think that they have been capable of doing that with any sort of consistency this season. And so therefore, I'm not going to pick this game for Atletico Madrid to be solid defensively against one of the more potent teams offensively, not only in Spain, but in all of Europe. So I just don't see Atletico Madrid keeping it at 0. I don't see this newfound confidence that Luis and Mario may be talking about. That feels a lot like wishful thinking, that hopeful thoughts that there's confidence is going to appear. There are a lot of things about that game against Rayo Vallecano that actually would fill you with more doubt than this inspiration that magically is going to appear. I don't see enough from Atletico Madrid just yet.
And neither do you, Stevie. You've gone for a Real Madrid win too.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a side that knows even when you go ahead, the likelihood is you're going to give goals up, what do you think that does for the opposition? I mean, Rayo Vallecano knew that. That's why that game was so tight. So now you're going to hand that over to Real Madrid and think that you're going to come away unscathed. I just don't see how it happens. I just don't see how that happens.
And can I tell you that this is how I read the predictions from both Luis and Mario. Mario, of course, is going to pick Atletico Madrid all day long because he loves some Atletico Madrid. And Luis, while he has some love and passion for Atletico Madrid, he's really not going to pick Real Madrid because you know. But the Barcelona blood is strong. And so never going to pick Real Madrid. But the fact that he's picked a draw tells me that Luis, in his heart and in his mind, knows that it's more than likely Real Madrid winning tomorrow against Atletico Madrid.
The thing is, I'm going to stick up for the wee man here.
Okay.
The thing is,
Luis.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, wee man. It's a derby.
No, I know.
You really can't argue with anybody when it comes to derbies, whether it's this one or the Merseyside or the Manchester derby. Because it's a derby, you can't look at that 1-1 and say, well, there's no way. So
no, we can argue.
I understand where Luis is coming from.
I hear you, but we can argue that at some point Luis has got to get off the fence and actually pick a winner.
We will. Listen, we'll give him the right to reply in just a moment, but given the fact that Mario Suarez is the only one saying that Atleti will win this game, I would like to hear his reasons for it.
I can see I'm the only one that is confident with Atletico de Madrid. But it's good for La Liga and it's good for Atletico. As you said, it's a derby. It doesn't matter what are you doing in the past or what you did in the past. I give you, Ale, Real Madrid is favorite, of course. They won all the matches, they are scoring goals, they are not conceding. And Atletico de Madrid, they are not performing well or in the best way. They are struggling to score goals. The other day appears Julian Alvarez. That's the best news for Atletico de Madrid. And I'm confident because I think it's the best scenario, the best day to change all the situation and to give confidence to these players, to your teammates. And, if you win tomorrow, you are going to be 6 points away from Real Madrid. If you lose, you are going to be 12. So I think it's the day, and I think they are capable to do it. And I'm confident.
Anything can happen, guys. Anything can happen, and Stevie is totally right. The derbies and the Clásico are totally different. Let's not forget that not long ago we were sitting down and the whole crowd was whistling in one of the Clásicos. Simeone had to come to us to try to calm down the supporters. Something like that can happen. And tomorrow is one of those special days. If one of these momentums happening during that game, it can flip. It can flip. The crowd start pushing to your teammates, start supporting, the players start feeling that confidence back again. And we can see Atletico Madrid beating at the Metropolitano against Real Madrid because we've seen it before. So it's true that it's not the normal thing or the normal situation that we could see because actually what we've seen so far in the last month and a half is what is telling us that Real Madrid is totally favorite. But don't forget, Clásicos, derbies, some special games are totally different. Doesn't matter how you arrive, it's about what you can do that day.
Yeah, look, I understand. If you want to build a case for Atletico Madrid, these guys are trying hard. But just take the first 15, 20 seconds from Mario's response to me. He told us all the reasons as to why Atletico Madrid are not winning.
Yeah, and just a little note, they stood in front of Cibeles, where Real Madrid celebrate their victories, and a little further up from them is Neptuno, where Atleti celebrate their victories, and I'm just surprised by their choice in the Spanish capital tonight.
Didn't think
Anyway,
it through.
Not our choice. It's not our choice.
didn't think it
They
through.
told us that we have to be here.
Okay, seeing as though you're there, then let's talk about Real Madrid, because like Julian Alvarez, Vini also had a good showing midweek. His coach, Xabi Alonso, has had this to say about him. Vini is a fundamental player for us. The other day, he played a great game. I really liked a lot of things that he did. I like to see him smiling. Was Vini's response and the performance that we saw from him a response to what Alonso's been doing with Vini, rotating him in and out?
Yes, and it's a realization by Vini Jr. that he is in a competition, whether he likes it or not, he is. Not independent of Kylian Mbappe, but with Kylian Mbappe, both offensively and defensively. And what was encouraging from the last match that we saw Vini against Levante is not only the goal from the right-hand side, which he never appears on the right-hand side. That tells you that there is more of an effort to be in a more central position. It's the amount of times in which him and Mbappe actually moved off of each other. As Mbappe runs deep, Vini comes underneath. As Mbappe comes and shows that Vini went in behind. That sort of movement, when they're working with each other, is going to help Vini, is going to help Mbappe, it's going to help Real Madrid. And defensively, yes, pressing the ball, actually going and stepping and challenging and making it difficult for other teams so that then you're able to regain possession of the ball. Perhaps not you individually, but you allow that second pass to go straight to one of your midfielders and you stay on top of teams. Vini did that in the last match. He just needs to continue to do that. That's all I'm asking for, and I'm sure that that's all what Xabi Alonso is asking for as well.
And you know, Xabi Alonso, in going to Real Madrid, we're all talking about how is he going to change the way they play? How is his tactics going to... You know, sometimes when you're at a team like Real Madrid, it's actually not about the tactics or what you're doing. It's just getting in people's head and convincing them that the things you want them to do are the best for them and the best for the team. I mean, can you imagine if Vini actually gets it? That what Alonso's saying, him and Mbappe, if they both realise that them closing the ball, them doing a little bit of the dirty work, not a lot, and then being able to play with each other, if Alonso can convince these two guys to do the things that will make them better as a partnership, them better as individuals, which ultimately is better for the team, that's coaching as well.
Yeah, so that's one of the big games, the biggest game in La Liga this weekend. However, Barcelona also taking on Real Sociedad, and they will, of course, be looking at what happens in that clash. And the big news is Lamine Yamal will be available. He took to social media to say himself, I am back. So obviously he's not featured since before the international break. He had that groin issue. He went on international duty with that issue as well, missed those games, but now he's back. And they really need him right now, Luis, especially with what's going on with Rafinha.
Yeah, exactly. We received the news that Rafinha is going to be out of the game for around 3 weeks, and fantastic news for Barcelona, because even though the Barcelona has been playing well, not dazzling performances, but they've been playing well in getting the results, you could see that something is missing. You could see that the piece that break the lines and break the defenders is right there on the right side is not there anymore. Rafinha did a good job. He got an assist. He found a way of creating from that right side, always trying to be a threat. But definitely is not Lamine Yamal. When Lamine Yamal is on the field, attracts so many players, so there are other teammates that they are going to be free. When he's on the ball, you know that anything can happen, from assisting, from scoring, from creating always something from nowhere. And I'm sure that Barcelona and, of course, Hansi Flick is going to be very happy of seeing him into the 11 probably that he's going to start. But don't forget, you have to look after. He's still a very young player, he's still a player who needs to develop. His body is still developing, and you cannot play him every single minute. So I'm sure that Hansi Flick has taken note of that situation. We don't want to see anymore what happened to Pedri in another player of Barcelona.
Is Sergio Busquets. He's announced his retirement. He will be retiring and hanging up his boots at the end of the current MLS season. As we take a look at the titles and honours, this player has won 36 titles across all competitions with club or country, 32 titles with Barcelona, which ties him with Andres Iniesta for second most in club history, behind only Messi, and then of course winning the World Cup and the Euros with Spain. What an absolute legend, Mario, calling time on his illustrious career.
Amazing. I talked to him today, and he's an amazing football player. For me, the best number 5 in the world, and he's even better as a person. His humility is amazing. I have been lucky to play against him, but more lucky to play and to train with him sometimes in the national team, and so amazing. It's, for me, as I told you before, the best number 5, and I think the midfield with Xavi, with Iniesta, with Xabi Alonso in the national team was amazing. We learned a lot watching him playing. We played in the same position, and for me, as I told you, it's the best. It was the best, and now I hoped, and I say to him to enjoy the next life. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know if he wants to coach or not, but he can do whatever he wants because he's so clever. And I think one of the best things he has, he was not the strongest, the fastest, but he was the most clever on the pitch. And well, I'm gonna miss him.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll be missing him too, Luis Garcia, obviously in everything he achieved, particularly with Barcelona.
Yeah, of course. I think if you love football, you have to miss players like him because he was different. He could do a lot of things that you need on a team, from defending to creating from the back to scoring goals in set pieces. He got this physicality. He was very high, so he was very good in defending, very good in attacking, good in both areas. But the most important is what Mario is mentioning. At the end, it's about how fast you are in your head, how quick you take your decisions and how quick you deliver on the field, and he was the best on that. And I think that football is going to miss players like him because more and more we can see it that we don't produce this kind of player. We are lucky in Spain that we got like a result that they are coming midfielders with that kind of quality. But Sergio Busquets was special, and I'm sure that we're going to miss him. Hopefully the best for him in the next chapter in his career, but at least we're going to enjoy him for a few more months.
Absolutely, Sergio Busquets, definitely a legend.
Did you see the power move on Mario? I talked to him today. You know, we're buddies, we're friends, we talk, and this is what we do.
This is who we bring you on our show.
Yeah.
People who know the stars, all right?
And Luis is like, no, look, I also have his phone number. I can talk to him if I want to. I just didn't want to call him, that's all.
Oh, what a special player, though. But, guys, we're going to let you get some rest. We hope you can enjoy the derby. Thank you so much for being with us. We will speak to you again tomorrow as we bring you coverage of El Derby, Atleti taking on Real Madrid, the first Madrid derby of the season. Now let's take a look at the top of the Premier League, where Liverpool are leading as it stands right now, but a lot of talk this week on Hugo Ekitike picking up that red card the other day for taking off his shirt and celebrating a goal when he was already on a yellow card. We already heard from Arne Slot after the game on it, but we've heard more from him speaking about his player and this situation.
Discipline means that I spoke to him, then it's discipline, but I don't think that is disciplined. So discipline means fine, and that he didn't get. So it wasn't very smart what he did, what he recognized himself immediately straight away. So he said sorry straight away to his teammates. And he's young. Players of all ages do make mistakes, and that's what he did in this situation as well. But we all make mistakes, and you're allowed at this club to make a mistake without immediately getting fines or these kind of things. He's a fantastic human being.
Yes, so he is suspended for the game at the weekend, in case you were wondering, because it does carry on to the next domestic fixture. They're going to miss him this weekend, Stevie, against Palace.
It just so happens they bought another guy.
Oh, did he just happen to score in the last game as well?
It just so happens that they thought, you know what, if something happens with Ekitike, whether he's injured or suspended or something, or he's lost the form, let's bring somebody else in. So, I mean, again, Ali was talking about it last week. You know, some things fall into managers' laps. And this is one of them. Because there's no question, Arne Slot has a decision to make, or had a decision to make, who do you start? Because eventually, Alexander Isak's going to go, OK, I understand I missed pre-season. I get it that I have to wait my turn, but I didn't go through all that in Newcastle to sit on the bench. And somebody else plays. So this is falling right into Arne Slot's lap. Isak will start, and to say they're going to miss Ekitike when you can start Alexander Isak, I don't think anybody's going to fall for that one.
Oh, so they won't miss him.
They will miss the opportunity of maybe giving Isak a breather with 25, 30 minutes to go. But other than that, no.
Do you agree with that, Ale?
Yes. When we've been talking about the depth of Liverpool in the attack, given the signings and given the players that they have brought in, the conversation has been around, well, what is Arne Slot going to do? How is he going to get enough minutes to everybody? And Ekitike said, I have a thought. I have an idea. I'll do something idiotic. And then that answer to that question would be very, very easy and straightforward for Arne Slot. And so there are other areas that you could argue if indeed one of those players was missing, say Virgil van Dijk, that you could say then, you're going to miss him? Yes, we're going to miss him. This is one of the areas in which they can do without Ekitike because Isak can come in and do the job. It doesn't mean that they're going to win the game because Isak is playing, but you would assume that Isak would be far, far more than capable to be able to step in, take on the responsibility that is supposed to be his responsibility to begin with. When it's all said and done, and Arne Slot has to make these decisions, we thought if it's Isak or Ekitike, it's going to be Isak that plays. That's what we thought coming into the season. That's what we're going to get tomorrow.
So let's get to the point of the prediction and whether Liverpool will win this game. We've given our predictions for the Premier League this weekend. Obviously, Stevie's usually a little bit more tense when it comes to Liverpool against Crystal Palace, but not so much here. Gone for a 2-1 win.
Well, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, well, Liverpool's definitely winning, and I'm just going to say it's 2-1. There's no question that, you know, Frank was talking the other night about how Crystal Palace apparently gave Liverpool a lesson. He was talking about revenge. Well, here's an opportunity, if you're so inclined, to look at a game for revenge. But at the same time, looking at it on paper, Crystal Palace at home in the Premier League, a couple of draws against Sunderland in particular. You know, they haven't looked particularly great going forward. There's no Eze now to bail them out when they do all that shape and defending and getting players behind the ball. So I don't see how you cannot think that Liverpool, even though it's at Palace, with that great support they've got and the atmosphere they create, there's no way you can think that Liverpool are not favourites to win this game. And I don't see why they don't. You know, again, goal scorers. Isak's in for Ekitike, but they've got goal scorers all around the field. You can't say that about Crystal Palace. And Crystal Palace have been struggling to score goals. Liverpool, if there's one thing they haven't struggled to do, is put the ball in the back of the net so far in the Premier League. So you can't look anywhere other than Liverpool. And that's not to say that it's a walkover, okay?
But they're going to
Let's get that right.
But they're going to win it.
Yes.
Let's talk about goal scorers for Chelsea, because when you take a look at their unavailable players ahead of their game against Brighton this weekend, you do have to put a big ring there around Cole Palmer. He'll be out until the international break, set to miss 3 games due to that groin injury that he aggravated last time out. How big a miss will he be, Ale, against Brighton?
Well, huge. Cole Palmer is the key for Chelsea, offensively speaking. Cole Palmer is critical to the success of this team and this club, and offensively he does a lot for this team. But if you are Chelsea, at some point, you got to live up to a certain amount of expectation that was placed upon you given your success in the Club World Cup, given your success that allowed you to think, you know what? Maybe we're not going to win this whole thing, but we are going to be in the conversation. And if indeed you're going to be in the conversation, these are matches that you have to win against Brighton, even without Cole Palmer.
Let's take a look at how the panel have picked when it comes to this Premier League fixture between these two sides. Ale thinks Chelsea can still do it, 2-1. Stevie, you're going for a 2-2 draw?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Chelsea defensively. Between the two centre-backs and the goalie, I think they're always capable of losing goals. And Brighton are a side that will, at any opportunity, try and get at you and will go forward and will play it short, but they'll play it long. I mean, they're not football snobs. They don't mind how they do it. They would love to do it playing properly, shall we say. But at the end of the day, they'll be going forward regardless of how they do it. And so I don't see how Chelsea keep a clean sheet. And I'm talking about, you know, Liverpool having goal scorers. Chelsea got plenty of forwards, but they don't have many goal scorers. You know, you take João Pedro away from what they have for this game, where's the goals coming from? So, yeah, I'm going to say that it's going to be 2-2. And the only reason I say that is because Brighton defensively give goals away. You know, sometimes you don't have to do too much against them to put the ball in the back of the net. So that's why I think Chelsea can score goals. Although, I've just said, they don't have many natural,
I love all the caveats tonight with
natural
Stevie.
goal scorers in it. But
However, here's the disclaimer. Stevie's been a little bit more confident for the next prediction that we are going to give you for Arsenal, because Stevie thinks Arsenal are going to beat Newcastle 3-1. Why?
I think it's a set up for Arsenal. You know, Newcastle at home will try and go forward. You know, if there's one thing that we've complained about Arsenal, and the centre forward position in particular, is because of games where they had opportunities or where people sat in. You know, they couldn't break people down. But what they can do, if you give them a bit of space, is break you down and score goals. And this is set up for them. Newcastle will go forward. But Newcastle are struggling when it comes to scoring goals. I think they got three goals in 5 games in the Premier League. That's not great. They're sitting in 13th position. We thought Newcastle were going to be a side that would be in the top 4 or fighting for the top 4. So I think this game's set up for Arsenal. I don't think Newcastle are particularly dangerous right now, but Arsenal, if you give them space, will be and can be, and I'm sure they will be in this game. So that's why I see 3-1.
Does picking a draw from ULA give an idea of how you think Arteta's going to approach this game?
No, it has nothing to do with Mikel Arteta. It has more to do with what I think is going to be a raging environment at Newcastle. And while I agree that they have had their limitations, you think about what Newcastle were against, say, for example, Liverpool. And, man, if they're able to replicate that sort of energy and that sort of intensity in which Liverpool, even playing a man up, couldn't complete passes because Newcastle were all over Liverpool. If they're able to replicate that, I think they can make this difficult for Arsenal. And the other thing I would say about Arsenal is that while we think that they're capable of scoring goals, they are not creating enough clear goal-scoring opportunities, consistently so. Look, Manchester City sat as deep as they possibly could sit. And he took, while it was a great finish from Martinelli, it's also a big mistake from Donnarumma in order for them to be able to break Manchester City down. And this is not a great Manchester City defensive team, not at all. And yet, the spaces were not there, the chances were not there. And the other thing I would say about Arsenal is that they have to be very careful about how things go this weekend. Let's assume that Liverpool does beat Crystal Palace. You drop points against Newcastle, you're already 5 points behind. You drop points against Newcastle and you could find yourself 7, 8 points behind this early on. It's one of those matches in which if you're Arsenal, look, you got to start building momentum, and you don't want Liverpool to get out of sight too soon.
Now, I wanted to get your take on Craig getting a little bit angry. I mean, it doesn't take much.
Okay.
But it was to do
What are
with...
you talking about?
Craig angry.
was to
Pick your
do
pick.
with Mikel Arteta saying that everybody was congratulating him for what they did against Manchester City. That riled Craig up that he said that. That he said everyone was talking about it and he was congratulating.
Who's everybody?
Didn't so much specify that?
Okay.
CEOs, everybody though.
Oh, everybody.
You know,
All right.
everyone, coaches, friends.
I mean, it doesn't take much to get him gone. But to be fair, he does have a point. Are you saying that thinking that people are going to agree with who's been telling him this nonsense? Is that why he's coming out with it? Because he's actually patting himself on the back, saying how great we did against Man City? It just goes to show all the things we've said about Arteta, with all his cookie stuff, with the light bulbs and all the other nonsense, that he's not quite wired properly. Let's put it that way.
Let's assume.
He needs to see an electrician.
Okay.
His wiring's a little haywire.
Let's assume that indeed there's this group of people around him that came up to him and said, hey,
Well done.
that was great.
Yeah.
You guys were amazing. What a plan you had for this match. Unbelievable. This was great. Let's assume that actually happened and that this is not all made up.
Oh, I still.
Okay.
Has.
All right. Then why get yourself in front of a microphone to tell the world, People have told me how great I am and how great we are. Who in their right mind thinks that that's a good way to approach it when, mind you, you drop points at home. You didn't get the result that your great plan was supposed to render. If you had indeed a great plan and great execution of that plan, then you should have won the match. Yes? I think we can agree on that. If it was so great and you drop points, then why do you think it's a good idea to go and tell the world it was a great plan?
It's not about the points. It's about the process.
Oh, you got to trust the process.
About the process.
Oh, I forgot.
You've got to trust it, Ale.
You got to trust the process. I see. So we're not keeping up with points anymore, a count of points. That's not what decides a title. It's a process.
Gally, you've got to look at the big picture.
I'm sorry, Stevie. My bad.
Yeah, Ale, come on.
Hey, you know what? I apologize. I apologize to Mikel Arteta, and I apologize to Craig that I did not get as mad as he did about this subject.
No, but we did get a cupcake.
Well,
by the way, how many as well?
His age.
Now, can I just tell you, the picture that came with the cupcake of Craig doesn't show a man who's got it all going on up here. I mean, there's some challenges going on in his life in that picture.
It's to say to you, do you really want this cupcake? Do you really need it? This is to put you off.
Yeah, it was a very angry face.
It was Craig toothless
staring at you in the cupcake.
You know the one. You know that picture. Famous picture. Yeah, cupcakes are bad for your teeth. Perfectly said by Steve. In Germany, we got to see Bayern Munich put 4 past Werder Bremen, and Harry Kane notched yet another record, scoring his 100th goal in Bayern colours. So we're going to hear from him, and we're going to hear from Vincent Kompany as well, because our boys were pitchside today.
On Harry Kane, I mean, breaking records, he's turning into one of the great legend of this great football club. But you know the processes. Thomas Frank, the Tottenham manager, said, oh yes, I've heard, I would love to have him back, and so on and so on. How worrying is that he will leave you?
I always look at, it's not been a topic, not even one time, and I'm saying openly, I haven't discussed this with Christoph Freund, sporting director, I haven't discussed this with Max Ebel, I haven't discussed this with Ari, it's not even 1% in our minds, you know. The language, what he communicates with his football, and every single day in the training ground, is the answer to everything. That's the most important for me.
Harry, first of all, congratulations on the win. 2 goals, a new record. On Sunday, I interviewed Erling Haaland. We were talking about the records, and he knew about all the records. And don't tell me that you don't know about all the records.
I knew about this record, yeah, for sure. It was hard not to hear about it or see it, and yeah, it's a big one. You know, first of all, to reach 100 goals for any club is an amazing achievement. A club like Bayern Munich is extra special, and then to do it in record time and one game less. You know, you're talking about some of the great players. Ronaldo, one of the best ever. Haaland, obviously, on his way to being a great. And yeah, these are great achievements that I can look back on when I'm a bit older. But for now, it's just about enjoying it.
You know, made him cry because of Haaland.
Yeah, no, it's a Norwegian. but Harry, at halftime, I wanted to make breaking news. Harry Kane, can you believe it or not? He's missed 4 chances. I mean, and then you got your goal, of course. How was that like?
Yeah, it was one of those games. I think, I'm proud of myself in those moments, because sometimes when you miss a couple of chances you expect to score, you can easily kind of have a game where you say it's not my day today, and you end up with no goals or no assists. And yeah, it was important to then score the penalty, and then in the second half just wait for that chance, and thankfully it come from Lucho and was able to put it away. So yeah, there was stuff to improve on from my point of view today for sure, but ultimately it's another great win, and happy to score a couple goals.
Are you actually surprised, because not so long ago the club was criticised for the lack of transfer activity? Now you're dominating the Bundesliga, you played so well against Chelsea. Are you surprised how quickly it went?
I'm not surprised. I think we've built a lot on what we started last year with the manager, the way he wants us to play, his ideas without the ball. And I think just month by month we've been getting better and better. And this start of the season wasn't easy because of the lack of pre-season and after the Club World Cup. And to start the season how we have is compliments to everyone involved. So yeah, I feel like we're growing and growing. There's still a long way to go, of course, but when you're winning games like this and dominating games, it sends a message to every other team, not just in Germany, but in Europe as well.
I've seen some great penalty takers in my life. In my generation, it was Eric Cantona or Matteo Letizia. But wow, your record. Tell us, what's the secret? What's going through your head? Yeah, please start with the basic.
Yeah, there's no secret. I think first of all, it's hard work. I practice a lot on the training field. I I study a lot the other keepers and where I've been before and history and a lot of that goes into it. And then ultimately it's self-belief. It's believing that I'm in control. I'm putting the ball down. He's got to save my shot, and that's not always easy. So I think when you score so many in a row, like the Bundesliga record now, people just expect you to do it, but I still have to work really hard to maintain that.
Well, I won't ask you about Alan Shearer Premier League record. I will just congratulate you on this one. Thank you very much, Harry.
Jan with the burn on Harry's big day. Why?
Because Erling Haaland is no longer the record holder.
Yes.
I mean,
Sounds like it, doesn't it?
yeah, simple as that. He has an agenda.
Aye.
It's a very Norwegian agenda.
I will have something to say to
Can we
Jan
go to
Agafjotov
Oktoberfest
when I
now?
see him. Stick around, extra time is on the
we-
way next. That is all we've got time for on the latest edition of ESPN FC. Okay, two things to tell you as we kick off extra time tonight. First, Ale has come dressed for the occasion. It's Oktoberfest in Germany.
Yeah, the most important thing's missing, though.
The beer?
Correct.
Not the lederhosen.
Yeah, you can have that.
You know, last year, when there was the Oktoberfest celebration, actually, we were handed and regaled with
Yes.
schnitzel and
Spatzel,
spatzel.
everything.
And also beer.
Beer?
Nothing. this year.
That's a lot.
Nothing. The hat I had to bring
From
myself.
last year.
Yeah.
The other thing we had to tell you is
Yeah.
that Stevie was asked a question the other day on Extra Time about which other team he gets angry watching. We found out today he gets very angry watching the golf, the Ryder Cup. Really angry though. Why?
I just get too involved in it. So I just don't, I try not to watch it. If I go back every now and again and see how it's going and get away, then that's fine. But otherwise I get uptight.
Well, I'll give you a little snippet, just behind the scenes. Stevie walked in today. We already had the Bayern Munich game on, and we had the Ryder Cup above it. Said nothing to either one of us. Tommy Fleetwood was putting. Go on, Tommy. Go on, Tommy. Tommy Fleetwood makes the putt. Go on, son. I was like, all right. Good to see you, Stevie.
Do you know what really upset me today? Mine were Eleanor. So we were sat watching a bit of the golf, right? The last one. So we lived Europe were 3-0 up. I was watching the last one, see whether we get the point or not. And then they flicked it to Justin Rose. I think it was Justin Rose sinking a huge long putt, and I was like, go on, yeah, get it. Right. I was going for that, right? And so I went through to the kitchen, and the next minute, Ellen shouted, come and watch this one, what a putt. So I started running, and I went, who was it? She went, oh, it was the USA. And I went, what? I don't want to see that. Why do I want to watch them sinking a 40-foot putt?
We're laughing at you running.
Honestly, I was like, if it's one of us, aye, but why didn't want to see them sticking a 40-foot putt in the back of the hole?
Can we get some clarification as to what entails when you say that you were running?
Well,
Galloping.
I wasn't walking. Put it that way.
It was at canter.
You can call it what you like, but I wasn't
All
walking.
right. Does Slot need to adjust for Wirtz or vice versa? How long for Wirtz to get accustomed to the Premier League? Does Slot's style fit Wirtz's best position? You both could answer this one.
Look, while they're winning, whilst Liverpool are winning, Arne Slot can probably in his mind think he can continue doing, because at the start of the season he was playing Wirtz in a position where he thought he would do best for him and for the team. And whilst Liverpool is still winning, he can stick with that for a longer period of time. Now, if things start going the other way, then it has to change, and I would suggest the change would be a change of position. So that's kind of where I stand on it. While they're winning, he's put him in the position where he thinks is best for Liverpool. But if things change, then he has to change position.
Okay.
What's that?
What do you think?
Do you want to add?
All right, it doesn't.
No,
I
it's fine.
thought you were asking Stevie. No, all I would say is that I actually think that Florian Wirtz has been getting slightly better as every game has gone on.
Right.
There's been signs, now not as quickly as people would want it, but you're starting to see some things that look a lot like the player that was at Bayer Leverkusen. more importantly, to your point about the position, he's playing in a different position than he was last year at Bayer Leverkusen. And Bayer Leverkusen, everybody played for Florian Wirtz. He, at Liverpool, is playing for Liverpool. Not everybody for him. He is part of a whole group of players that are playing for the club, for the team. And so there are some sacrifices that he's making in playing sometimes deeper than he would be, and does not have the freedom as such that he did last season under Xabi Alonso at Bayer Leverkusen, over the last couple of seasons at Bayer Leverkusen. So I think there is an adaptation period here where he's got to find the best of himself, which is the player that plays off the script, is something that I have described in the past, that he's not so much concerned about tactically what is my role here, what is my role there, where do I need to be here, where do I need to be there. Where he actually feels the game, that's where he's at his best within the structure of Liverpool. That takes some time, and we have seen minor improvements. It's getting there. Be patient, and I think you can afford to be patient because you're perfect so far.
Okay. Stevie, is it time to get rid of the shirt off yellow card?
Oh. I mean, I must admit, I don't understand this whole getting booked for taking your shirt off, to be honest. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just another celebration, isn't it? So I don't really understand why people should get a yellow card anyway. But if they don't, which they won't, you've got to use your brain, and you can't be taking it off. Unfortunately, that's the rules, and you have to follow the rules. And no excuse, really, about scoring a goal in the top corner or a flying header and I got overexcited and all this nonsense. No, don't do it. But I think they should get rid of it, because at the end of the day, it's just another way of celebrating.
It boggles the mind, though, that players know full well that it's a yellow card.
They'll do it.
And they go with their first reaction, they scored a goal, to take the shirt off. I'm like, but this has been like this for years. This is not, or shouldn't be, a surprise to anybody. And somehow they continue to do it. And that, obviously, this is referring to Oguekitike, the fact that you already have a yellow card and you still went for it, it's indefensible.
You know, the biggest thing I don't understand, right? Because when you play football at that level, it's all about control. And we all get, when the ball hits the back of the net and you score, that you get that feeling. But you spend 90 minutes doing things and then just at the snap of a finger having to go and do something else. So you're actually programmed to snap back into it, even in occasions where you might just for that split second lose control. It's got to take you 5 seconds to be given all this and then taking you. Do you know what I mean? So that's the bit I find really strange. You know you're not allowed to do it, and even that inkling in your brain where you go, you do this, that should be enough to stop you. So that's the bit I don't really get. How you don't have the control.
How long will it take you to get a jersey off right now?
Well, it depends how loose it is.
No, you know, we're talking about your playing days jersey.
Right now, a medium probably take me a minute. A large would take me 30 seconds, and an extra large.
Is it like it would be like
extra large would be about 10 seconds.
It would be like a straight jacket. It would be like a Houdini trick.
Yeah, the small one.
This one's for you, Ale. Start, bench, or drop. Jude Bellingham, Pedri, Gravenberch.
Right now, this is pretty straightforward, actually. Pedri starts. I'm still taking Jude Bellingham over Gravenberch, so I'm gonna bench Bellingham and drop Gravenberch. But Pedri you can make the argument that right now Pedri is the best player in the world.
Stevie, if you were the owner of Manchester United and you had the chance to replace Amorim with Ole today, would you?
Aye, absolutely. I would no question. Just say, right, listen, I'm just telling you now, we're looking for a manager. I want you to come in here between now and the end of the season. I don't see what's wrong with that. Because Amorim is not getting a response. Nothing's changing. Certainly nothing's changed, and nothing is going to change between now and whenever he goes. So why would you not bring in somebody like Ole, who every single Man United fan, ex-player, whatever you name it, will accept that. And just under the understanding that we want you to keep things going between now and the end of the season till we can get the man that we need and want. I would have absolutely, if I'm a Man United fan, surely that's a good idea.
Which teammate was the Busquets when you played? A great player who quietly went about his business.
Go ahead, Steve.
Ronnie Whelan. Ronnie Whelan. Always there. Always with the right pass. Doing the simple thing, making it look easy. Yeah, Ronnie Whelan. Absolutely.
I suppose people may not be familiar with this name. Some may. Tomás Rincón played with the national team in Venezuela, actually played at Juventus for a season or two, played at Hamburg for many years. Just heart and soul of a group, running side to side, sideways and backwards and forward and everywhere. Sometimes he would get himself out of position in doing that, neither here nor there. But always an engine that you knew was available. And I think to some degree people took for granted, because with those sort of players, they do a job that nobody else wants to do. And you almost kind of go, well, yeah, he's there. And we're focusing on the guys who are playing up top or the guys who are more attack-minded. But you need that guy to allow a platform, build a platform for all those other guys to be able to perform. So in the case of our national team in Venezuela, that would have been Tomás Rincón.
Thanks. For both, if ESPN FC goes abroad for a whole year, which city would you like it to be based in? And Stevie cannot say Liverpool.
Madrid. I thought I fitted in Madrid quite seamlessly, to be honest. Smoothed in with the locals and everything else. Yeah.
Hang on, I need more. I need more.
All right.
So why did you fit in so well?
Let's get to the bottom of it. The karaoke's open to 6 o'clock in the morning.
Correct.
That's right up my alley. There you go.
All right. and you do really well in boat races too.
Yes.
Yeah, I can. Yes, I mean multi-tasking and you name it.
So who was that boat race? It was you,
me, and Dan.
Right.
Against Robbo and Gab.
Right. And Robbo was rowing Gab in.
Yeah, they were a little bit lower in the water than we were.
There was a little bit more drag, bit more drag in that boat.
Yeah. Gab nearly fell in. He was so close. It was brilliant.
Okay, so Stevie's voting for Madrid.
Madrid.
No, please, you go ahead.
Oh, well, come on. It's Madrid.
Yeah.
It's Madrid. And for too many reasons, but it's just a great city to live in.
Absolutely, yes, Madrid. If we're going to be based out of anywhere, and certainly the leagues that we cover, Madrid would be the place to go. Yeah. I mean, if Stevie's telling you Madrid, then you know
just
it's a place for everybody.
Just for the karaoke alone, he missed out all the other parts of it. Yes, it is a 24-hour city. 7 days a week, you can do what you want 24 hours, even if it's karaoke. The lifestyle's great. You can walk everywhere. It's well served with aeroplanes. It's well served with
even
trains.
as a TGI Fridays.
Well, you went with Dan Thomas, so what did we expect? What did we expect? Yes, karaoke straight to the airport as well. Was that right?
Yeah, perfect.
You know, Kay,
perfect.
You started your answer by saying, there are too many reasons to mention, and you just mentioned all of them there.
No, I could keep going on. The metro would have taken him right to the station as well, right to the airport. Yes.
Seamless.
Seamless.
I think I'd been there all my life.
Just putting it out there to our bosses, we could do a year on location and we'd all be in favour of Madrid, the Spanish capital. Thank you very much. Plenty of football teams there as well. Okay, Eric Garcia has played at defensive mid, at centre-back, at right-back. Ferran has been the go-to backup for all three forwards. How important, Ale, are such versatile players in a team?
Yeah, and you can throw Konrad Laimer in that list, for example, for Bayern Munich and Vincent Kompany, or Fede Valverde for Real Madrid in the many roles that he has played for that team. Players like that resolve an issue for you all the time. You need a hole that needs to be plugged in, and you need somebody to be able to cover that hole for today, for tomorrow, for the day after. Perhaps not in the long term, but they're able to do a job at a higher level than some of the reserve players that you have available. And so it gives you peace of mind as a manager. That's what it does. It relieves a little bit of the pressure that this guy, he may not be playing 10 out of 10, but I know he's going to be 7 out of 10 all the time in whatever role I put him in. He may not have the higher peaks, but I know consistently what he's going to give me, and so I don't have to worry about him. And I also know that he's going to resolve many issues for me. These sort of players are critical to the success of any team and to the success of any manager.
Yeah, some of our guys were dropping names today because they all have Busquets in their phone number list. But we do have Eric Garcia, friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show, coming to speak to us at the beginning of the season.
You're a manager. You know, if you tell me the importance of those players.
Oh, it's huge.
Versatile.
To be able to put somebody in and then you can't really notice it. You know, you're not going to get 10 out of 10 from that guy. But when you can put somebody like him in and you don't notice that there's a weakness anywhere, it's fantastic. I mean, every single coach will tell you, if you can sit on the bench and you pick 11 guys and you know exactly what you're going to get from every single one of them, it's an absolute dream place to be.
You yourself, Steve, you're a versatile player.
Yeah.
What's it like being a player where sometimes you might be asked to play in a role that is not your favourite?
I just went and played football. I didn't think about where I was playing. I just went and played. And had kind of grown up, both when I was young and in the beginning of my professional life, of playing in different positions. So all of those positions I'd played before, so the key wasn't that I didn't know what to do, the key was the standard that Ali was talking about. So you have to get to a standard. And I could do that, regardless of the position. So I enjoyed it. Sometimes it's nice to be in a different place. It's nice to play midfield, wide. You get a chance to score a goal. You don't get many chances when you're playing fullback. It's nice to play centre back when you can see everything and be involved a lot more. It's just great to be able to go and play football. So that's all I did. I didn't think too much about it. I just went and played football.
The critical thing is, though, that you stay on the field, right? And some of these guys, they sort of fall in love with this role, and managers fall in love with these guys playing this role. And so what happens is when the big timer comes back, those guys go to the bench.
Right, actually, that's the point. That's the most important thing probably that I missed out. Also, I had in my head that regardless of where I was asked to play, I knew that if everybody was fit, I was playing.
Yeah, correct.
So that also was part of the key of making it easier for me just to not even think twice and go, yeah, that's fine. I'll play it if you want. Because I knew I was going to play regardless.
Absolutely. So you don't want to be the guy that, oh yeah, he's great to do this, and this, but when it comes down to it, you're not on the team. Yeah. So you want to be the utility guy sometimes, but you also want to be part of the team when the team is playing.
Nice question. Okay, Stevie, would you have eaten more cupcakes than Xhaka yesterday?
Oh, probably no.
Really? Because you had like a full quarter of my birthday cake.
I forgot about that.
See that guy is not.
How many did Xhaka have?
I think at least 2 when I was just watching, right?
But the thing is that the bites from Xhaka are sizable.
Yeah, I would say I would have eaten 2. I wouldn't go. I'm not really carried away. Every now and again, getting cake or a cupcake is great, but.
Remember when Stevie was so kind and shared the cake out and cut it for us?
Yes, and then he ate a brick. Then he ate a brick of cake.
Yeah, and
well, there's probably 2 cupcakes worth.
A little more.
Depends how big the cupcakes are here, Stevie.
Little more.
Eyes are a little.
Hey, what I would say about Xhaka, though, that's a guy who has eaten a cupcake in his lifetime. His first move was peel back. Well, he took off Craig off the top, peel back, and he looked at it like, yeah, you mine now.
Yeah, oh yeah, one
Come
go,
to
I
daddy
think.
now.
2 bites, right?
Come to daddy now. One bite, 2 bite, it's gone.
Generally with goalies, you never take them on at most things.
So you'll let Shagga have that one.
I'll let Shagga have that one.
The best thing of all of it was how appreciative Craig was for all those
Very
games.
happy, very happy about it.
Really happy.
Yes, very happy.
I know.
Really happy.
I did see that, but
Yeah. All right, thank you so much for sending in your questions for the latest edition of Extra Time. We will be back all across the weekend on ESPN FC. Be sure to be with us.